Rangers head into a crucial European game with an unwelcome development hanging over their preparations. The squad has been working towards the Braga meeting with a sense of momentum, but that focus has been interrupted by fresh concerns from the treatment room. With the schedule tightening and expectations rising, the timing could hardly be more awkward, and the club now finds itself weighing up how to adapt before kickoff. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Rangers news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. But first, Kevin Muscat has spoken for the first time on the talks that saw him on the brink of becoming Rangers manager before changing his mind. After Steven Gerrard pulled out of the running for a sensational return, the former Ibrox defender became the first choice and looks set to succeed Russell Martin. However, he too performed a U-turn. At the time, Muscat was involved in a title bid with current club Shanghai Port, and it was believed he was not going to become available to move to Glasgow until that was resolved. Rangers may have had to wait weeks for their new man, and possibly appoint an interim boss until then. That is believed to have been a factor in talks breaking down, and Danny Röhl ultimately landed the job. Muscat has since seen that title fight through and guided his side to another trophy, and has now taken the chance to address his near move back to Rangers. He told media back home in Australia, "I had some real positive talks with some really good people, real professional people. I've got a lot of respect for the people that I spoke with. The decision ended up where it ended up. It's not really important who made what decision at what time. What's important is, I think everybody's comfortable now, Rangers seem to have moved on, and we've won the championship, so I think it's best just left alone." Muscat doesn't know what the future may hold for him and his planning for next season in the Chinese Super League. "I've got to plan for next season and make sure we get things right with pre-season and recruitment. Then naturally I'll take a break and we'll see what happens. The reality is I don't know what is next, so I'll be just going about business as usual, mate. What's meant to be will be." I look at it and think to myself, well, if I'm in an environment where I'm happy, my family's happy, I'm able to go about my business and it's appreciated, I'm content. What I do know is that if I take my foot off the gas, it'll be much harder for opportunities to arise. So I'll just keep my head down, keep working hard, keep working to win trophies. If doors open, great. Time will tell what that looks like. Now, Rangers defender Derek Cornelius will be sidelined until at least the end of January after undergoing surgery. The defender suffered a muscle injury during the international break and has had to go under the knife. Danny Röhl has confirmed that Cornelius has had surgery and will now be out of action for at least the next 2 months. Dujon Sterling has replaced Cornelius in the Rangers squad for the Europa League. He said, "Yeah, Derek had the surgery in the morning today, and that means he will for sure longer be out. John Suter is still out. Mikey Moore goes in the right direction, but the muscle injury takes a little bit more time, I think. We've now put Dujon Sterling on the UEFA list, but still, for him, after the first game on Monday, this is a process. If you are out 6 months, it's not easy to be ready straight after a week, but it was a decision for the next European games to cover this position, and hopefully in the next games, yeah, I think the squad should be then." Bailey Rice, of course, is out with the surgery. Joe Rothwell has a little bit of problems on the knee, but hopefully he is okay. Yeah, should be a similar squad. Asked how long Cornelius will be sidelined for, Röhl added, "Minimum. The end of January may be longer." In other news, Rangers' decision to remove Kevin Thelwell and Patrick Stewart from their posts marked one of the most dramatic shifts at the club in recent years, bringing an abrupt close to a turbulent chapter that had overshadowed the early part of the campaign. The announcement on Monday confirmed what had been brewing behind the scenes for weeks. A culmination of poor performances, disjointed planning, and growing unrest around the direction of the club. The season's opening stretch had already claimed a major casualty in Russell Martin, whose stint in charge barely lasted weeks. Danny Roll's arrival steadied the pitchside operations with a far more cohesive run of form in the Premiership. But even that stabilisation could not shield the club's hierarchy from scrutiny. The weight of frustration continued to build, and supporters made it clear that patience had evaporated after what was heralded as one of the most expensive and ambitious summer windows Ibrox had seen. According to individuals familiar with the financial considerations surrounding these decisions, senior figures within the ownership group were far from satisfied with the trajectory. Andrew Kavanagh, one of the key voices in the new hierarchy, did not shy away from acknowledging the need for sweeping change. Rangers need to go in a different direction with changes ahead, he said after the departures were confirmed, a statement that reflected both urgency and dissatisfaction. Those close to the situation have also indicated that the double exit will come with a significant financial hit, with the combined payoff expected to run into the millions due to the short duration of both men's time at the club. It represents another costly line in the ledger of a season already riddled with missteps. Thelwell's move from Everton in the summer had been seen as a major structural addition, yet his tenure unravelled almost instantly. Decisions such as sanctioning a deal for Youssef Shamiti, costing upwards of £8 million, left many baffled and set an early tone of mistrust. Stewart, while more experienced within the wider Rangers environment, had long struggled to win over a demanding support that expected clarity and conviction in leadership. Responsibility has now shifted temporarily into the hands of Fraser Thornton, who has stepped forward as acting CEO. Already a director with recent stints of heightened responsibility, Thornton previously served as chairman following John Bennett's departure before stepping aside under the new ownership. His return to the forefront reflects both necessity and continuity during a period of considerable restructuring. With Kavanagh and Parag Marath satisfied with the work Roll is doing on the touchline, attention has turned to finding the next permanent leaders of the club's football and executive operations. The search is expected to bring high-profile names into consideration as the Americans look to impose a more coherent, long-term strategy in the boardroom. Whoever ultimately takes on those roles will inherit a demanding environment, but also a clean slate, a chance to restore confidence after a period where misjudgments became routine. The departures of Stewart and Thelwell draw a definitive line under a troubled era, though the cost of correcting the course will linger long in the memory at Ibrox. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.